So we've got to talk about Elon Musk and Tesla.
What's going on today?
They've got their earnings report coming up.
But does people even care about it anymore?
Right, that's the question. Well, I'll say this. If you have a bunch of Tesla stock, you care.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're worried that a lot of people don't care. And you're like, oh my God, you got to care, you got to care.
Yeah, but even Elon's care?
Yeah, that's the question. And do you remember what he was doing beginning of the year?
He's all about the government stuff.
Yeah, he was doing Doge stuff and things. And basically, that was really bad for the company. Like, sales just went down everywhere. It was like all over Europe, all over US, etc. So he came back to Tesla theoretically.
Does he?
Yeah, I say theoretically. Because if you ask me, in my opinion, his main focus is more like Twitter or
like
his...
Grok?
Yeah, Grok. That would be like the XAI stuff. And then his latest thing is he's been telling everyone he's going to make a big video game company. For reals.
For real? I know that he likes
for reals,
to...
he said it. Whether or not,
we know that he likes to play video game himself, right?
Yeah.
So now he into video game company?
Well, so his claim is that he's going to build the first AI video game, or AI designed video game, I guess, his claim.
He's claiming.
His claiming. and this is a lot of stuff that, when you talk about Elon, you have to understand he just claims stuff.
And he promised stuff all the time, but it doesn't come true.
So that's what they're going to be talking about during the earnings report. There's always these sort of same things that people ask. There's a car that hasn't come out for a while. Do you remember which one?
The Roadster?
Yeah. I think it was promised like 10 years ago already now.
10 years ago?
Something like that. Maybe it's 8. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, but it's too long.
Yeah, at this point, it's like, I don't even remember anymore. And the funniest crap is people gave a deposit. So you gave Tesla...
What happened to that money?
That's a good question. Yeah. No, seriously, that's a good question. Because you gave the money, and you're supposed to basically hold my place in line for a car that never comes.
I don't remember. Can they refund or not?
So some people have tried, and whether or not they've gotten the money back. Yeah, because there's a popular YouTube video out there where someone's tried to get the money back.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the end result was. It's to say it's really difficult. And people said there's a lot about Tesla whenever we try to deal with them. It's really difficult. In fact, I don't know if you heard this one. They had a big problem in Korea. Did you hear about that?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, seriously. It was something's wrong with their battery or something like that. So basically the cars don't work.
Yeah.
And it was like a third of them, like a really lot. So people are just basically pissed off. And then there's the other issues where Tesla does sell in Korea, but there's not many service centers.
Yeah, people always complain about that.
Yeah, so that's just in Korea. I can't speak to every country out there.
Yeah, even these days in Korea, there's we call it battery phobia.
Oh, okay.
So even if your car's crash,
right.
So you need to take to the service center, right?
Right.
But not that many service centers take the car because they worry about battery fire.
Oh. So it's basically no one will fix it. I see. So even if there were a service center, they won't fix it. If you can find a service center.
Not the official service center, just regular.
Oh, okay. I get. Yeah.
Because they need to go somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
I understand. Yeah, so it's even worse with the Teslas, and Elon's got a bad history of basically their service is terrible, essentially. Tesla people don't like to talk about it, but anyone who's had these things, you read these nightmare stories on the internet. And then the other big problem, and it probably won't come in earnings report. This is more we just know. Like the Cybertruck literally just falls apart. so there's that. They basically. Do you know the phrase "cut corners"?
I don't know.
It just basically means like you go cheap. You don't finish. You don't finish going all the way around. You kind of cut. So they'll use cheap glue or cheap materials or
I remember that in a bunch of cyber car, the parked somewhere in the middle of nowhere, America. Where are they going? They're still there.
Oh, parked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that they try to keep that stuff secret. So you're asking a lot of good questions because when Elon was in the government, there was a lot more spotlight on Tesla. So the spotlight's been taken off a bit, right? So a lot of these questions that haven't really been answered, but people kind of quit asking in a way.
Yeah.
So
they forget about it.
Yeah. Right? I mean, now we have to deal with the ICE crap every day, right? But it does matter what happens to obviously the people who have Tesla stock, and it still remains a popular stock. And you got this crazy situation to where Elon's threatening to leave the company basically. So he's saying, if you don't give me my $1 trillion, and it really is that much, $1 trillion pay package.
Does person need that much of money?
Does anyone, a trillion, like,
Yeah.
$1 billion is a lot of money. $1 billion is a lot of money. And I think last I checked, I think he might be the top rich person at the moment. It goes up and down based on
This is about the stock value.
Yeah. So evidently he wants to be the first trillionaire. And it's stupid, right? And if you guys watching at home, just write it down on a piece of paper and ask yourself, does anyone need the amount of money? And you already know the answer. No, you don't. It's more of like bragging rights, essentially. So the funniest thing about Elon, he always pretends he doesn't care about money.
But why does he want that much of money?
That's why it's funny. It's all a joke. So this relates to Tesla as a company because Elon is Tesla, basically. Yeah. And recently, the chair of the board, who's one of Elon's basically buddies, she was complaining about the media. Do you remember what she was complaining about?
Oh, she said they always talk about who's leaving the company.
Right,
a lot of C-levels, but they don't talk about who's hired by company.
Yeah, see, but the problem is they don't hire anyone C-level. Like, yeah, I'm sure they hire interns.
Junior level.
Yeah, so this has actually been a big theme. They probably won't address it in the earnings report. This is kind of a negative thing. Just they've been bleeding talent. So Elon Musk says the future of the company is going to be the robots. It's going to be the AI, the taxis. But like their head of the robots left, their head of their cars leave, and then different managers of the car departments leave. I think we read the number of C-level, was it like 10 people, I think, or something like that?
I don't know.
It's hard to keep track, but I think it was some, I even lose count of all the people. Now there's people out there who like keep a spreadsheet of all the people leaving. And I promise you guys, if there were big hires, I would tell you, you would literally see it in the news.
And we will see, the next earnings report, maybe she's leaving too.
So they're all selling. So Robin, the chair of the board, she's been selling stock. Elon's brother's been selling. There's another person that's connected to. It's like his name is Murdoch. I don't know if you know. So the guy who owns Fox News, it's Rupert Murdoch. He has a bunch of sons, and then one of the sons is on the board. So basically, the board is filled with Elon's friends, essentially, and that's been a big problem all along because normally a board should be like separate. And so usually the board
just protect company.
Yeah, I mean that's basically more specifically you could argue protect shareholders, etc. So for example, if a CEO doesn't come to work, what do you normally do?
Fire.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty basic thing. Come to work, right?
He's kind of hurting the company.
Yeah. So which is a whole other issue, right? Because I always keep it simple as like CEO's not coming to work, you fire him. It's a simple one, right? Because for some people who love Tesla, they say, oh, but Elon's helping our government, and Elon's friends with Donald, and oh my God.
That's why they can fire him, because he's still, people worship him. So he's the face of the company.
Yeah. So to be fair with the Tesla earnings, I would argue that Tesla actually only needs one employee.
Yeah, Elon.
Yeah, because why?
Because, they're most, I don't know, the value of the company is stock, depends on stock, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's all they need to sell these days. It's just a stock pumping company. So if you want to talk in the earnings report, what they're going to talk about, the questions are going to be, when's the robot coming out? When are you going to start making a bunch of robots? Do you know how many robots they've sold?
I don't know. How many?
0.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why the whole thing is stupid. Like they haven't sold a single robot. It's not ready.
And he always said like end of the year or something like that.
Yeah.
He always says the same thing, but
it'll be 6 months from now. Yeah. So they haven't sold any robots, and so then that's why it's so stupid to be like, oh yes, we're gonna be a robot company. And
what happened to like a lot of YouTubers, promoting their company? Yeah.
So actually, it's a true story. This is interesting. So one of the original YouTubers who promoted their company. It was funny because back then, so Tesla always would say they don't advertise, like their culture. They say we don't advertise, we're just like word of mouth. But it wasn't exactly true because they were really good at working with their influencers, right? So they'll say it's not advertising, but it's just they got on the board of the. I'm sorry to say it, like they got on the trend of getting with YouTuber or whatever. So one of the original people. I can't remember what it was, but it was like if you recommend your friends and you get enough credits, then you can get basically a free roadster kind of thing. So he qualified and he never got it. And so then he kind of became anti-Tesla. So it's kind of it's a funny story. And then I've noticed that many of the Tesla people have like stepped away. So what they'll do is really funny. I won't mention names, but you'll know who they are. They'll have their name of their channel, right? But they won't actually appear on their own channel anymore.
Oh.
So it would be like if you guys tuned in to come find us.
Basically, this is Chris Nolan channel,
right?
But when you click it, there's no more Chris Nolan.
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of channels that do that these days.
Oh, really?
So they
it's basically
they'll just hire someone, or I don't know their arrangement. I'll just say,
or just a US agency channel.
We've no idea. But point being, it's like it'd be like, yes, you come to the Chris channel, but Chris is no longer on the channel, and they'll be like, what? So there's a lot of channels that do that. That's one strategy. The other strategy they'll do is they'll never show their face again.
Oh.
So they'll still hear their voice, right? They'll still do the videos, but you just won't see ever because they don't want to show their face. It's pretty funny, right? Another strategy that they do, which is really funny, is they'll do AI.
I see.
So they can either AI their voice, they can AI a script.
Yeah.
But let's just say if a person is not appearing on their channel when it's their name, and they're not willing to say on camera and say, hey, I love Elon, and this is why I lay it out, and actually talk like a real person, it's all nonsense, you know? And so it's weird in this kind of world. You never know for sure when you look at another channel's views, if those are real views or not. Honestly, you never know for sure. You never know for sure. I can tell you ours are real, but I can't tell you about other channels because when I look at some of this other stuff, it's clearly like, again, it's AI content or they're not on it, and you're just like, what? Because Elon will pump up said channels too, right?
He used to kind of repost, all text, right?
Right. So the funny thing about Elon, he doesn't actually pump up Tesla as much because he's not interested in it. That's why the whole thing is funny. Yeah. He'll talk about British politics, or he'll talk about his new video game company thing, whatever. But he does show up to the Tesla earnings report. He does. So he does come to these things. But he always, whenever you hear him talk, and I'll try to live stream if I can, I'll just say this. He may be drunk or other stuff on these reports. Seriously. What's that?
Can I say? Last time he doesn't really show his face on your phone call, right?
No, none of them do. That's always a phone call.
Yeah.
It's always a phone call.
So actually, conspiracy, is my opinion, you can fake that too.
Oh, well, it's Elon. Yeah. It's definitely Elon. Trust me. Yeah, I'll just say it's Elon because, okay, here's the thing. And this is the thing to look for. It's always the same. He'll have a script. So he'll come in and he'll read a script. This guy, it's just like Donald Trump. So they'll have like a 5 to 10 minute prepared script, okay? It'll sound really different. Like it'll sound like a completely other person when they take questions and answers. So you'll kind of know, right? It's just obvious. And so what's really funny when they take the Q&As, they're often laughing. They'll cough. It's basically the behavior people have when they're lying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Or they don't care. They just answer a question. I just read it.
Well, no, but the answers they have to. Well, the questions are sort of predetermined though. So that's kind of because what it is there's a bunch of questions out there, and they ask shareholders, what are your top questions, but they're always the same. Where's the robotaxi? Where's the affordable car? What metrics for the stupid robot? When can we get the AI in our cars so we can, have our cars be taxis? It's like going on for like the last couple of years.
So, but sometimes he doesn't even answer. He just start talking about Mars.
Yeah,
right?
That's actually true. Or he'll use his like weird things of where he'll say he'll start talking about like Superman or something like that. He does that sometimes. You never know. Actually, you never know what he's gonna say. So yes, the Mars thing is correct. That was another one. Superman sometimes. That's why it's actually really entertaining to listen to this stuff, because it is obviously a stock pump. It's obviously a complete scam. But then the question always is the same. It's the same with Trump. So the audience is kind of same. I say kind of. It used to not be like, well, because Elon's always been this way, but the audience of the Trumpers and the Musk have sort of kind of merged. So that hasn't always necessarily been the case, because it used to be like just basically people who like tech. Would be into Elon, which is if you like tech doesn't mean you like Donald. It's a separate audience, right? But they kind of merge in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a bit weird and strange. So that's why it's entertaining to watch this stuff. And it's entertaining that. Okay, this goes back to the Donald point I'm trying to make. In the audience of Trump or Musk, there are two types of people.
What's the two type?
So basically, it's the cult follower.
Yeah.
And the cult leader. That's basically what it boils down to. Another way to put it is people who are easily scammed, and then people who scam. Right? Or another way to put it is, I know you guys don't have this. So in USA, back in the 80s, we call these people called TV evangelists. There's basically TV churches.
Oh.
And there's basically people who are obviously fake. Anyone who's lived through this era, you would know. It was obvious. They wear like heavy makeup. They would say, if you don't send me a bunch of money, I'm going to die next week. They'd say this kind of stuff, like really ridiculous stuff. And it was it's like a home shopping kind of feel. Yeah. It's obviously fake, but people actually believe this stuff. And it's very similar to the Trump and the Musk, because any like reasonable person sits down, and if someone starts promising you that you're all going to have 5 robots, next week, like it's obviously a lie. And then the questions be like, okay, so why does anyone listen to this? Well, if you convince enough people to do it, and then enough people get rich off the lie continuing, then it keeps continuing. So that's sort of why it's interesting. When is the bubble going to pop? So I know Tesla fans out there will be like all mad, and they always write hating. Well, because if they have money into this thing, they
care. They don't want to lose their money.
Sure. Yeah. So it's to their advantage to keep pushing the lie. So that's the question. Like, how long can this thing go? Just to give you an example, because Yeji and I we're talking about it. Usually, just a simple way to think about stocks is PE ratio, price to earnings. And you had a friend or whatever said something like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, these days people don't buy, and people, before we used to study more what is PE ratio, what they're doing right now, but people just buying and selling rumor a lot more than before.
Yeah, and so that indicates bubble market. But for those of you who understand this basic concept, it's like, what's the price of stock compared to how much a company makes? It's a ratio. It's very basic, right? So just for example, we just looked. It's like 16, okay? Price of stock, price to earnings is 16 for Ford. For Tesla, I think it's like 256. Yeah. So it's ludicrous numbers. And another way to think about it in the most simplest terms is, if you price something at that kind of PE, then you would expect their earnings to grow at that same percentage. Meaning that, I'll be really simple. If Ford PE is 16, then reasonable, you would expect 16% growth next year in their earnings. So then, do you expect Tesla to grow 250% next year in their earnings? And
Elon believes.
Well, Elon will say so, whether or not he actually believes it, right? And so then they'll say it's the robots, the AI, it's the taxis, etc., and it never comes. So that's the question. Like, how long can they keep it going without any staff and all by himself? He's just going to pump the stock, and that's what we're going to watch for. So that's our thoughts on this. I'd like to hear yours, and we'll catch you on the next video. So bye.